This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. Today's video is on manifolded versus independent doubles for backmount diving. What are manifolded doubles? This is a set of two same-size tanks, generally attached by two stainless steel bands with an 8.5-inch center to center. They normally contain modular left and right hand valves, and they have an isolatable manifold between the valves, and they can transfer gas between tanks when the manifold is open. When the manifold is closed, the tanks are isolated from each other. What are independent modular doubles? These are two same-size tanks which may or may not be banded together. They will have left and right hand modular valves. They do not have a manifold, so you cannot transfer gas between these tanks. What are independent right hand valve doubles? These have two same-size tanks which may or may not be banded. They do have commonly found right-hand valves. They do not have a manifold and therefore cannot transfer gas between tanks. For backmount doubles diving, the obvious order of preference is to first use manifolded doubles. If that is not possible, the second choice is to use independent modular valve doubles. And if that is not possible, as a last resort, you can use right-hand valve doubles. The order preference is based on comparison considerations, including availability, tank rental costs, operational convenience, handling, training, safety, and equipment. For availability, we have three primary considerations. First, manifolded tanks are not readily available or available at all diving destinations. Second, left and right hand modular valve tanks are only available where manifolded tanks are already available. Lastly, conventional right-hand tanks are available everywhere. Next, let's talk about tank rental costs. First, the use of manifolded doubles or left-hand, right-hand modular valves usually incurs a surcharge. On the other hand, independent tanks do not incur additional rental charges. A typical example of this is in Bonaire, where you pay a flat rate for unlimited tanks, but if you want to use doubles or modular valves, there is an additional surcharge on top of your weekly tank rental rate. We also need to consider operational convenience. When you use manifolded doubles, you are likely going to be required to refill them when they are depleted. On the other hand, if you are using independent double tanks, they can be readily exchanged for filled tanks. And then there's the issue of handling. This is one of the reasons why side mount diving has become popular in recent years. For difficult entries, the additional weight of manifolded doubles can be dangerous to use. On the other hand, independent doubles can be carried separately to the water and pre-positioned and assembled like side mount tanks. Training is an important consideration. Independent doubles actually require substantially more training than manifolded doubles, as divers must be familiar with both backmount and side mount operational concepts. And then there's the issue of safety. So independent doubles are going to always be less safe than manifolded doubles, and one reason is that they require additional training that was previously mentioned, And then a second reason is that the use of independent doubles requires gas management switching techniques. These techniques are necessary to keep approximately the same amount of gas in each tank, and this is particularly important in the event of an out of gas situation. Lastly, there's the issue of equipment. Independent doubles require additional equipment over manifolded doubles, and these include an additional pressure gauge because the tanks are independent. It includes the addition of 4 tank bands to secure the independent tanks on the back plate, and it may also include the possibility of a new independent doubles compatible back plate which has tank band slots in the correct position. To be absolutely perfectly clear, what we prefer doing and what we think you should do is to use manifolded doubles whenever possible. Unfortunately, no matter how many times I say this, there will be people out there that watch this video and will hear whatever they want. What I will say is this: when manifolded doubles are not available, are too costly, are logistically inconvenient, or dangerous to use, you have other options. With the proper equipment and training, you can dive backmount doubles where there are none. Now that we've established that, let's take a closer look at the use of left and right hand modular valves versus conventional right hand valves only for independent doubles. So if we have to use independent doubles, the next issue that we need to address is left and right hand modular valves versus right hand valves. So first, obviously, the use of left and right hand valves is preferred. And what those allow you to do is to have a similar setup as a set of manifolded doubles. But the problem, as we've already discussed, is that the availability of left and right hand modular valves is questionable. And if these are available, if left and right hand modular valves are available, you're probably also going to have access to manifolded tanks, which is a preferred solution. The big rub is that this sometimes leaves you with only the possibility of using right hand conventional valves. And the big problem with this is that one of those valves has to be turned around backwards in order to be able to have access to the tank valves. So in order to access the tank valves in the event of an emergency, one or the other tank must be rotated 180 degrees from its normal position. What this will result in is one of the 2 regulators being mounted on the backside of the rig. The choice of which tank to turn backwards on the rig is an individual decision. However, this may result in a situation where some of the port positions will need to be changed. Since one of the 2 regulators must be mounted backwards in order to have proper access to the tank valves, this can create a very visually disturbing configuration for many divers, as the first stage will stick out behind the tank valve. There is a definite possibility of the first stage getting caught on overhead cover. However, the first stage usually does not extend past the edge of the tank, so for practical purposes, this may not be a serious limitation. More important is the fact that both tank valves can be readily accessed in the event of an emergency. In conclusion, independent doubles are just another tool in a properly trained diver's toolbox in the same manner as side mount diving. This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. Thanks for watching.